Dear Professor, I'm honored to be able to conduct this video report. I'm Li-ting LIU, the presenter, and the topic of my paper today is design of online education resource sharing model based on blockchain technology. The authors of this paper are Li-ting LIU, Ma, and Fei GAO. Okay, now I officially start my report. I will start from the following 4 parts. Part 1, Introduction. Part 2, Model Design. Part 3, Experiment Result. Part 4, Conclusion. First of all, let's look at the first part of introduction. Before looking at the first part, we can think about a question. That is, why do we need to design an online education sharing model? Okay, now let's see why. With the development of the Internet, distance education came into being. As an important branch of distance education, online education has become one of the important means for countries to obtain knowledge through the Internet to improve the education level of the people. However, due to regional restrictions, they are isolated from each other, and it is difficult to realize the sharing of educational resources. As shown in Figure 1, information is like an island in the ocean. This is why we design an online education sharing model. The next question is how. How do we do it? To solve the problem of the difficulty of sharing resources, we can introduce the resources sharing mechanism into field of online education, manage the self-contained online education resource distributed in various regions, and provide a simple discovery and effectively use mechanism to realize the education resources shared. Because the existing online education resource sharing model has a defect of low control load and slow response time, this research designed an online education resource sharing model based on blockchain technology. After we understand the importance of design online education sharing models, we then enter model design part, namely Part 2, Model Design. Model design is divided into 4 small parts. 1. Construction of model framework. 2. Resource standard and resource granularity setting. 3. Online education resource management. 4. Online education resource sharing based on blockchain technology. Let's take a look at these parts in detail. 1. Construction of model framework. We must follow certain rules when designing models, and the model studied in this paper is no exception. The following principles should be followed when designing the model. Principle 1. Follow a unified open technology architecture. Principle 2. Maintain a unified common basic resource model. Through the above description, the online education resource sharing model framework is built, as shown in Figure 2. The framework is mainly divided into client and server, and is divided into 3 layers: the presentation layer, the persistence layer, and the data layer. Each layer is responsible for the corresponding functions. Next, resource standard and resource granularity setting. Based on online education resourcing theory model framework built above, set resources standards and resource granularity to prepare for the realization of subsequent resource management and sharing. 1. The description of online education resources uses CEO's 3 learning object metadata specification, namely LOM specification. 2. The data elements of learning objects are organized by a tree structure. 3. The XML building specification cells 3.2 of learning object metadata is selected as the basic information description standards of learning object that can be transmitted on the Internet. 4. For the content packaging of online education resources, the CEO's 9 content packaging specification is adopted. 5. Learning objects refer to various entities for learning. The definition of resource granularity is shown in Figure 3. It can be seen from figure that it is divided into large granularity, medium granularity, and small granularity. The model designed in this research supports resource of various granularities, such as videos, courseware, text, online courses, etc. At the same time, considering the issue of mature recognition of credits, only resources with a granularity above the curriculum can achieve the goal of mature recognition of credits. Therefore, this study stipulates that if the resource type uploaded and registered is online course or above, in the metadata information of the course element, the course value of the sub-element of the right element is set to course-specific credits, and this value for other low granularity resources set to resources value points or other virtual currency number. The use of virtual currency means no actual charge, which shows the principle of resources openness. Next one is online education resource management. Centralized and distributed storage as two storage methods often used in resource storage have their own advantages and disadvantages. This study combines centralized and distributed storage to form a centralized management distributed storage model. Improve the efficiency of resource retrieval and management order. The unified management model is shown in Figure 4. The standard resource package is stored in the standard resource library. The standard resource package depends on the physical resource in the physical resource library, that is, low granularity resources, and the registration information comes from the description information in the standard resource packages. The management model of learning resources is divided into 3 levels. Level 1, resources production level. Level 2, resources storage layer. Level 3, resources release layer. The resources management process is divided into following 6 steps. Step 1. The physical resources distributed in different places are packaged according to the standards and specification by resource producers to from resources packager. Step 2. The resources packager is uploaded to the model through the registration interface provided by the resource theory model. Step 3. The resource theory model carries out standardized detection of resources. Step 4. The resources theory model stores the resource pack into the standard resource package library. Step 5. If the resources passes the approval of the resources theory model. Step 6. The resource detail obtained by the user are obtained from a resource package by model. Based on the resource standards, resource granularity, and management model set above, blockchain technology is introduced to realize the theory in online education resources. The structure of the blockchain is divided into blockchain head and block body. The block head includes the root value of mark tree, the hash value of the previous block, time step, random number, and version number. Hash value is a very important attribute in the block head. Time step is another important component of the block structure. Blockchain technology mainly includes peer-to-peer networks, encryption algorithms, and hash algorithms based on online education resource theory needs. Peer-to-peer network blockchain technology is selected as the supporting technology for this research. Then enter the third part of experiment result. The third part is divided into 3 summary. 1. Construction of experimental environment. 2. Resource production registration. 3. Analysis of results. First, construction of experimental environment. The experimental environment is shown in Figure 5. Using a PC as a web server. Using a PC as the database server. Using PC as a physical resource storage server. And using PC as a client. Then, resource production registration. The experiment takes a computer network course as an example and made the computer network course according to the steps of standardized resources production. We can clearly understand computer network course structure through Figure 6. Finally, analysis of results. According to the experimental environment and registered resources, the experimental data are input into SPSS software for centralized processing. Finally, the model performance evaluation data is obtained as shown in Table 1. As shown in Table 1, compared with the traditional model, the control load of this model is larger and the response time is shorter, which fully shows that the resources sharing performance of this model is better. Next is the last part, conclusion. Divided into 2 points. 1. This research uses blockchain technology to build a new online education resource sharing model, which greatly increases the model control load and reduces the model response time. 2. It can provide users with a better online education resource sharing experiments, also provides a reference for my country's resource sharing research. My report is over. Thanks.